I want to tell you the story about the time I almost got kidnapped in the trunk of a red Mazda Miata. It's the day after graduating from design school, and I'm having a yard sale. And this guy pulls up in this red Mazda, and he starts looking through my stuff, and he buys a piece of art that I made. And it turns out he's alone in town for the night, driving cross country on a road trip before he goes into the Peace Corps. I make the mistake of asking him, "So where are you staying tonight?" And he makes it worse by saying, "Actually, I don't have a place." And I'm thinking, oh man, what do you do? We've all been there, right? Do I offer to host this guy? But I just met him. I mean, he says he's going into the Peace Corps, but I don't really know he's going to the Peace Corps. And I don't want to end up kidnapped in the trunk of a Miata. That's a small trunk. So then I hear myself saying, "Hey, I've got an airbed you can stay on in my living room." And the voice in my head goes, "Wait, what?" That night, I'm laying in bed. I'm staring at the ceiling. I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? There's a complete stranger sleeping in my living room. What if he's psychotic? My anxiety grows so much, I leap out of bed. I sneak on my tiptoes to the door, and I lock the bedroom door. It turns out he was not psychotic. We've kept in touch ever since, and the piece of art he bought at the yard sale is hanging in his classroom. He's a teacher now. This was my first hosting experience, and it completely changed my perspective. Maybe the people that my childhood taught me to label as strangers were actually friends waiting to be discovered. The idea of hosting people on airbeds gradually became natural to me, and when I moved to San Francisco, I brought the airbed with me. So now it's 2 years later. I'm unemployed. I'm almost broke. My roommate moves out, and then the rent goes up. And then I learned there's a design conference coming to town, and all the hotels are sold out. And I've always believed that turning fear into fun is the gift of creativity. So here's what I pitch my best friend and my new roommate, Brian Chesky. Brian thought of a way to make a few bucks, turning our place into designer's bed and breakfast, offering designers who come to town a place to crash, complete with wireless internet, a small desk space, sleeping mat, and breakfast each morning. Ha! We built a basic website, and Air Bed and Breakfast was born. Here's what we pitched investors. We want to build a website where people publicly post pictures of their most intimate spaces, their bedrooms, the bathrooms, the kinds of rooms you usually keep closed when people come over. And then, over the internet, they're going to invite complete strangers to come sleep in their homes. It's going to be huge. We sat back and we waited for the rocket ship to blast off. It did not. No one in their right minds would invest in a service that allows strangers to sleep in people's homes. Why? Because we've all been taught as kids, strangers equal danger. Now, when you're faced with a problem, you fall back on what you know, and all we really knew was design. In art school, you learn that design is much more than the look and feel of something, it's the whole experience. We learned to do that for objects, but here, we were aiming to build Olympic trust between people who had never met. Could design make that happen? Is it possible to design for trust?